Hello, everyone. This is Rick with the Cyber Pro podcast where industry leaders share their insights. It's about 5 questions in 9 minutes because hackers never sleep. Let's get to it. Question number one, Paul. Who are you and what do you do?
My name is Paul Cummings. I am a cybersecurity research engineer for Stevenson Technology Corporation by day, and by night, I am Batman, the CEO and founder of Whole Cyber Human Initiative, which is a workforce development research organization trying to really bridge that gap of the cert degree, formal knowledge, hands-on knowledge debacle that we have with the talent shortage today.
Very interesting, and I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit more. But I'm wishing you had wore the Batman cowl. That would have been great.
Well, I do have my Batman skull. Well,
There it
I mean,
is. Yep, it came through. That's amazing.
to be
Good
or
for
not
us.
to be, right?
That's awesome. So, well, let's jump into question number two. Why do you love being a cybersecurity professional?
Because it changes daily. Um, specifically with cybersecurity research, it's one of those jack of all trades type of positions. And for me, I'm very very curious, and we all know that in cybersecurity, you have to have that curiosity to be able to want to track down those rabbit holes and go deep as you can, really. So on any given day, I'll do blue team one day, red team another, maybe some static code analysis, even though I'm not a programmer. So it's it's something that I know that I won't ever get bored with.
I love it. I love it. I'm gonna throw that curveball question in really quick. What do you prefer, blue team or red team or purple team? Because that's a new thing now. So
I enjoy purple team. Actually, it's kind of odd because I stood up a cyber protection team back in 2014, and in reality, it was a purple team. We did job rotation to where a blue team analyst and a red team analyst swap positions every so often, to where they were ideally purple team experts back then.
that's awesome. I love hearing that. I love the foresight that you had on that. So that's pretty cool. We hear everywhere today that cybersecurity is a top concern. But what does that mean to you?
It means that to me that it's the it's the same thing you hear when you grew up when parents told you not to do something, and it's pretty much hold my beer, challenge accepted. It's really fallen on deaf ears. You got TikTok, for example. We know that China is harvesting all of our credentials, but we're seeing an influx in TikTok users between professionals, executives, business owners, and now it's starting to trickle into even professional networks like LinkedIn.
I feel like you mentioned TikTok. I feel like it almost has to become a company issue, right? My company doesn't allow it, but I still see tons of people that just use it and just don't even think about it. Do you have any thoughts on that? I know that's a maybe a hot button topic, but I'd be curious what your thoughts are on that.
Oh, it goes back to the mindset of they already have my information, so why not? When you look at the gross amount of data breaches that have happened over the years, people are just they don't care anymore. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I can buy a new phone. The company's going to give me something like LifeLock, and I'll be safe for a time being. But they don't look at the gravity of, what if it's a data breach that leads to a romance scheme or a child being groomed, um, which happens far too often nowadays, and it's sad, especially for children. But it gets to the point where their their identity is squashed. I mean, you can go from grooming a child or doing a romance scheme to where you've now, if I'm the bad guy or bad person, I've put this person on a sexual watch list or something like that, and now their reputation is completely shot. Um, sure, we can come back and say that insurance take care of it. It was false, but people only read media the way they read media. So they're going to see it, think it's bad, and not going to want to associate with somebody anymore based on that.
Very fair point, and I agree. Social media is a moment in time, and most people don't go back or forward, right? They see it, they believe it, or they don't, and then they move right into their next social media habit. So appreciate the insights on that.
Absolutely.
What insights, for lack of a better word, I feel like I've said it 15 times already. What insights do you want to share with the rest of our cyber professional community?
Right now, so I've been doing a lot of research into IoT threat. We're pushing the envelope to where we're coming up to what 35 billion devices global here soon, um, and it's really it's for me it's a call to action. We're doing a lot of automation with push button AppSec tests, push button pen tests on these IoT devices, but we're not really peeling back the onion layer. And I say that because, for example, one of the IoT devices that we looked at was a baby monitor. And when we really took it down to brass tacks, it was very, very coveted by the PLA, People Liberation Army of China, or Communist China Party. And it's a lot of it is there's these turnkey solutions out there for IoT coding that they don't get patched. Um, they've got these stale IP addresses that are nefarious. Um, but really, taking a step back and saying, okay, I'm getting called to do a pen test or an AppSec against a device so they can go to production, they can go to market. Don't just stop there. Take it deeper. Um, for instance, there's who's to say that some of these IoT devices that have been circulating since 2015 aren't a root cause for some of these data breaches that we've had? When you consider that a lot of the process control boards or PCBs are built in China that are really closely tied to Huawei, and we knew Huawei was already harvesting data to be stored over in mainland China. What happens when the U.S. says no, we don't want Huawei in the U.S. no more? Well, that gives all these devices the ability to get harvested and cannibalized to be put in other devices. So it's kind of recirculating the bad just with a new wrapping.
I love the take on IoT, so I appreciate that. I want to get to the fun question. What's your favorite piece of retro technology that makes you smile?
That would be the Da Vinci Code's cryptic.
Very interesting. Why did you choose that?
It was it was something that Leonardo created that we use still today. Um, especially you pull open something like CyberChef and it's right there. It's a lasting. It's not even I wouldn't even call it technology really. I mean, it was a well put together machine that you can store copious amounts of secrets in, and if you didn't have the chops for it, you'd never understand what was inside it.
I love it. Early cybersecurity, right? So, Paul, thank you so much for being on the Cyber Pro podcast.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for watching the Cyber Pro podcast. Please like and subscribe. We'd love to have you following so you can get all the cool new updates.